Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to support the podcast, share the podcast on social media, or guest on the podcast or review. Follow us at Indepth Arts and Care on streaming platforms.
Are you looking for a fun new way to find interesting stories? Well, look no further. Welcome to No Strings Attached e-News. From lifestyle articles to news in the entertainment world, we are the premier e-news site to find informative articles on a variety of popular subjects. As our online magazine is always expanding, we know there's an article here for you on No Strings Attached e-News. Find out what's buzzing at nsaen.com.
Hi, Mark. How are things?
I destroyed the bedroom, the place where I felt the most lonely.
I guess in love, I've always been a lonely girl.
Hello, and thank you for tuning in to the Indepth Arts and Care podcast. I'm your host, Michael B. Judkins, and I'm so thankful that you are here with me and I'm here with you. Please continue to follow us and subscribe to the Indepth Arts and Care podcast on all podcast streaming platforms, as well as social media on platforms as well, too. Today, we are in the beautiful Between the Lines Theater in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and I'm very excited to speak with this talent that I have here today. I worked on a couple of projects already with her and seeing such a versatility and talent that it amazes me still to where I constantly want to book her. So without further ado, let's welcome Miss Tatiana Torres. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
You know what? I'm hanging in. January came in very strong and I'm still trying to build and pull my pieces together and keep the year rocking. So it's been very great. I'm glad to have you here on the Indepth Arts and Care podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor.
Yeah, well, let's jump right into it. So for the audience to get to know who is Tatiana, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, so name's Tatiana Torres. So I began performing officially in like acting and singing after high school, which is about late 2009.
Okay.
I know I did, a little bit of plays in middle school and, did the whole like school choir and things like that. But I really didn't get started on it until 2009, my first community theater show in Nazareth. Wow. Yeah, because after I graduated, I thought, maybe theater wasn't really for me because I didn't have like the best luck trying out for shows, getting rejected. But that's the business, which I understand. But it was more of a confidence thing. So I really started to like get into it again. And then I expanded doing more than just theater. Like I really wanted to get into film as well. And not just like, short features or anything like that. Commercials, PSAs, some industrial work. And I've actually also wanted to get interested in starting voiceovers as well. Like I actually did one, yes.
Wow, I guess I can hear that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Wow, wonderful. Mm-hmm. So I want to go back to something you mentioned, getting your first gig, right? What was the confidence that actually got you to do it, right? Because with anybody whether you're in independent or majors markets of the entertainment business, you still have to audition, right? You got to go through that process, and then you get the gig, right? So as your first gig building up to that, how were you able to transition and push yourself to do it?
So it definitely helped when some peers of mine, like friends, family, even coworkers, kind of encouraged me to do it. Because after that year of me thinking, this isn't for me, I actually started to miss performing. And especially when I would even do like character like performances in like Dorney Park Haunt, for example. I had a lot of fun doing stuff like that. So I thought I really want to get back into theater again. And then they had, auditions for musical. And I thought, oh, well, let me definitely give it a shot. And then I started practicing singing like I used to in high
Wonderful.
school. Yeah. And then they were telling me, oh my God, you sound so great. You should go for it. So I kind of went for it. It was different because it was community. It's very different from school.
Yes.
So I thought I didn't feel like that extra pressure of people I know, like watching me, hearing me. It was brand new people I'd never met before. So it helped relieve the nerves and definitely helped build my confidence for sure.
I love that. I love how you worded that as well too, and really and gave the visual of you at that time, right? Because I always wonder when I meet actors or actresses and I work with them on my projects, what is the motivation behind it, right? Because me coming in as a producer director, I acted some, but I know I'm more behind the camera guy in that world. And when I see this amazing talent in front of me and they're displaying these brilliant performances, how do you prepare yourself for a performance?
I definitely would start off by kind of blocking out things that are happening like in my outside world, so to speak, like eliminate all distractions.
Right.
Like definitely get into the performance mode, because when you get on that stage or in front of film, wherever you're turning into that character that you're playing, you want, focus is so important. You definitely want to be able to step into that. No distractions, no thoughts of, it's like, just wait until after it's done, right? And then just really get into the headspace, the situation, who that person is, what their goals are as that character, and just become them, not someone who's playing a person, so to speak. So
I like that, because you segue right into what I was going to ask you from that. When you say become that character, when you accept the role, whether it's in theater or in film, when you accept that character, how do you know, or when do you know how to receive feedback during your performance in that? Because one thing I notice working with talent, sometimes feedback is not always received, right? So if you're gearing up and you're preparing and you're doing everything for that character, how do you work well with the directors that you worked with so far?
Yeah, so one thing is definitely like listen, and if you don't understand, always ask questions, because there's at times where even myself, I would get nervous and think that if I ask questions, then, oh my gosh, I didn't understand the assignment at first. Did I do this wrong? And it's like, it's okay. We're human. You know, it's always okay to ask for help. And like, okay, I'm not understanding. Can you elaborate? And you always want to, don't be scared to make choices either, because you think that, oh, well, I'm scared to make this choice. What if it's so bad that they don't ever want to work with me again? It's better to just put everything out there as opposed to holding back, because it's easier to kind of push back as opposed to them trying to pull something out of you. So
I think you nailed that. Right. I'm sitting, the little angels in my head is jumping up in joy.
All right.
Because
nice.
Because I think what you said and how I processed it was that collaborative combination between a director and a talent, right? And I like the idea of putting it all out there, because for me, at least as a creative, I want people to come and be creative, right? Because even if I'm the writer on the project, if I write a particular character that's appeared, it does not mean that somebody else cannot come and enhance that character, right? And that's what I think talent do, you know? And that pulling from it sometimes do not work constantly. And when somebody comes in and saying, I see this character like this character starts off like this, but hey, I think this character might want to do this. And that you have something to work with.
Yes.
Right? As a director, you have something to work with. You're like, wow, okay, maybe I didn't see that before. Now I'm envisioning it. Go ahead, go do it.
Yes.
There's been a couple of projects I've been on, and I just let an actor tell me something when we're off camera, I'll be like, yeah, okay, try it. Right? And sometimes it creates that scene exactly what it's supposed to be for that moment.
Yes.
right? And a lot of times it's really just catching that feeling or that emotion
Yeah.
that is needed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how do you define your artistry as an actress? I know some actors and actresses like to define their artistry. Do you have a preference, or is that something that you do?
Yeah, so if I had to define it, I would say it's definitely a work of empathy, like empathizing with not just the character that you're playing, but you also want the audience to empathize with you, and you're empathizing with the audience as well. Because even though like audience members, you know, they're watching a show, they're watching a film, whichever, it's almost like they're watching real life.
Yes.
And it's almost like they've known some people like that in real life, and they're like, oh my gosh, I have someone in my life who's just like that. I know that had happened. Like what they're going through, I went through that when I was younger.
Yeah.
So it's definitely wanting to making a connection with the audience. So if I had to define it, that's pretty much how I would.
I love that. I love that because you're absolutely right. Again, that connection is very vital, right? You want to be able to have your audience walk through that beginning, middle, and end with you.
Yeah.
Right? And really take that journey with that character and really feel like that. It's funny because the other night I was at my home office and I was watching something on YouTube. And I'm always watching something on YouTube for some reason, and it sparked me in the sense of why I'm remembering it and it's coming up at this time. It was a short clip, and it was in reference to learning different types of production styles. And the actor that was on that particular video clip stated, I would rather be an artist that creates the art than an artist that reads the paper.
Nail on the head.
Right? This is why I'm like, wow, this is what brought me back to that moment listening to you, because I'm like, and I witnessed it, guys. She's an amazing talent. So I can see how that translates into your work, right? As far as your contributing work into the community and broad. So where do you see your acting career going? Where's your directions in that area? It's a tough one.
Yes, you got me on there, but I will say that I definitely see it going in a bunch of different directions. And the reason I say that is because I am very open to exploring different paths, not just straight, you know, theater and film. Definitely would love to do voiceover work one day. And I recently did a PSA, which was so fun to do. And I even did a music video recently.
Wonderful.
Yeah, that was super, super fun. So I see it, so basically I guess I'm saying that it's more open-minded as far as career going in a bunch of different paths, because you just never know.
Right.
You keep going, you keep growing, you keep finding opportunities. Who knows? But I plan to keep going.
Yeah, I totally agree, because there's different mediums, right? There's, like you mentioned earlier in the interview, there's film, there's theater, there's voiceover, right? There's anime. You know, there's all the different types of subgenres, I guess, and genres and subgenre actors could contribute their talents to make their dreams come alive too, right? Where in the spectrum of you in your dream, where are you at with that? When you had that dream, where are you at in that dream state, in your reality? I know that's interesting. That's a mind thinker right there.
Yes. Oh yeah, for sure. I can definitely say that where I am right now, I'm in a pretty good spot.
Good.
Because to be completely honest with you, I never thought that I would be playing leads, because
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Because, growing up, didn't really have like the most opportunities. It was usually, ensemble supporting, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Right.
There are those that definitely love playing those parts, and that's completely okay. Because I would look at those with leads, and I would be so like, it would be an admirable state because I looked like, oh my God, they're so great. They're on top of the world. I wish I was, the lead girl, so I had like those dreams. It's like, and then me watching movies when I was a kid, and I always pictured myself like on like a TV screen a little bit. So, but then when I started getting lead roles, I was like so happy because they would say, it's like, you've always had it. It was just a confidence thing. You need to be confident. You can't be this shy girl or just, there's nothing wrong with being shy, but put your foot forward. Like, it's the worst they can say is no.
Yep.
So, overall, I can say that I'm pretty happy with where I am right now.
I love that. So I'm going to share a story. I don't know if you remember this, but I'm going to give you some context and a bigger issue, not an issue, a bigger scope of the story. So I was a producer on a short film that was coming out. I believe this, oh my God, this might even been before COVID. So this was 2019, maybe 2018. I don't think it, yes. And we was in the auditioning room, and you came in to screen. This was a Lehigh Valley film crew production. This was Trish Thompson production.
Oh, okay.
And I worked with Trish many, many times over, and I would join on this project. And you came for the casting, did your casting, and I met you in the hallway. I came out in the hallway. I was like, "Hey, Tati," and we was talking a little bit, and I remember you telling me, and you felt so typecast in a lot of things that you was going for. And I don't know if I shared this story with you, but from that moment, after our conversation, to give you a little bit more history, I was developing already Lonely Girl as a song with a music producer at the time. We was going back and forth with lyrics. I changed it from a poem to a song, and I was working out the lyrics. Went to the audition, helped out on the project, had a conversation with you in the hallway. When I left that conversation with you, I went back, started finishing out the song with the producer I was working with as the writer, finished the record, had the record on hold, and I started writing the script for Lonely Girl. And that moment in time that I met with you in the hallway, I wrote it with you as the lead. I don't even think you remember. I called you up, I think I sent you a Facebook message at like the beginning of the year, one of the years, and I said, "Hey, Tati, I am working on something. I want to know if you'll be interested in it. When the script is ready, I'll pass it to you." That was The Lonely Girl. And Lonely Girl is a short film that I did produce for Oct 14 Entertainment, L.L.C, and Tati was the lead in that role. And that picture, that production alone had so many moving parts to it, how it was created, I should say. And that what made me think of you as the lead from that one moment. Because I thought I saw at that moment a talent, not a talent being defeated. At that moment, I felt as a talent wanting to be heard. And I looked at that moment back. I played back and forth, and that's why I was like, I don't even know if I told you the full story of this. And that's where I appreciate you so much for taking that role, because it was literally written as I was writing it. I had you in mind. And I told myself, if she does not take this role, I will rewrite it until she feels like the script is ready for her to take. Because I felt like how that story was coming about and how you explained it to me, you was the character. I knew it already. From that moment in the hallway, I knew it already. And that comes to a producer looking at it, already know your versatility as an actor, right? And was like, wow, I can understand why you would feel that way. How are you feeling now about being typecast, or what does that actually mean to you?
Yeah, so as far as, being typecast, I definitely believe that I can play more roles than just a certain type. Because that's also another good question too. Yeah.
It's a tough one.
Yeah.
It's a tough one because
Definitely.
I think whether you're in the indie space or the major space, storytellers and story writers and writers have a vision, right? And sometimes that vision on paper, and for people to execute that vision, have to look for those visuals, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes it could be depicted on different types of race, ethnicity, body size, even characteristics, right? Personality, and sometimes who knows who, right? In 2025, do you still feel like some of that is happening when you go out for auditions?
Yeah, so in 2025, I believe that I shouldn't say I believe, but I am starting to see more versatility. Like, it's kind of breaking away from that. It's definitely more variety for sure. And especially with like different types of roles. Because if you're definitely a versatile actor and you can play any type of role, then you wouldn't fall in that typecast category anymore.
Right.
And I'm actually very thankful that I can now say that I was able to play a bunch of different types of roles, all different from one another.
Yes.
So it shows, it makes me, I'm proud of, my hard work. And this is like, okay, this is what I can do.
Yeah. I love that answer because you're absolutely right. It takes that moment for a person or actor or actress to say, hey, I have to stretch my wings, right? I want to push my own self to see what's my range, right? And what can I do to challenge myself in this art, right? I think it's the same way as a writer and a director. Even when I'm writing something, when I'm in a headspace of it, I'm in that space, right? And I know that at that moment, once something breaks or seems broken, it shatters a little bit for me, right? And I have to pick up the pieces and then get right back to it, right?
Yeah.
So I want to ask you in reference to film. Now that you are, and I'm sure that you're going to continue getting lead roles, right? Working with different production companies and entertainment companies and individuals, filmmakers and film creatives in general, what is your own goal at the end of it? What is it that you see for Tatiana Torres?
So I would have to say that my end goal is playing a role that really pushes me and takes me to my limits.
Yeah.
And I can say that from, watching movies in my spare time, like these crazy out of this world roles that require so much emotion, definitely a lot of physicality. It's like there's no pretty crying, there's straight raw ugly crying type. And I feel like I love those types of performances because it's like you're not afraid to just push it. It's like, okay, this is real, this is how people are like in real life. And I am really into just playing roles that are, I gotta say, super emotional, definitely push. And then, what else was I gonna say? But that's pretty much like my end goal is just finding that role that really pushes me to my limit.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit. Up until now, have you found that role that almost took you there? So I seen, just before you answer that, I seen you in one of Brandon films. Oh my gosh, what's the name of this one? It was a horror. I can't get the name right now, but to me, when I was watching the film, I didn't believe that was you.
Oh, really?
Because goes to, again, the versatility, right? And pushing yourself. it was a whole different character, right? That I seen you play, and I was just floored. I went to go see it at the Still Stacks at the premiere, and I'm sitting there and I'm knocking on the chair because I worked with you, so I'm sitting up there like, oh my God, that's Tati. Like I was sitting there like, oh my God, like it. As a writer, when you see something grow, or even as anybody, when you see something grow, it's amazing to me. So I seen your versatility in that film because it shredded everything I knew you to be from acting so far, right? Yeah. So I'm sitting there as a writer like, oh my gosh, she's great, I worked with her. And then as a producer, I was like, oh, I'm still going to keep booking this girl. Because I was like, oh my God, when you're like that in the theater, especially with a talent that you worked with, to me, only thing I was like, oh my God, I'm wishing you blessings. I'm wishing you everything that you have because you gave me everything I needed as an audience member, right? Sitting there watching it. I was like, fabulous film. And I'm sitting up there like, everybody did amazing work there. And I'm just like, oh my God, I never seen you in that light before. And I was just like, she even does that well.
Oh, thank you.
It was just an amazing picture, and I just wanted to share that with you to say that your versatility is amazing to me. And I think that you have a long thriving career wherever you decide to take it and whichever directions you go in. And I do believe you, and I believe it too, that it's kind of like having additional revenue streams, right? Having to learn different markets in order to learn what the needs are, right, for the people and what you provide in the community. So how do you take care of yourself, right, when you're becoming an amazing actor, right, and still managing day-to-day life? What do you do to take care of yourself? What is your self-care routine?
Yeah, so self-care definitely involves eating well.
Yes.
You definitely want to make sure that on a daily basis you definitely eat very well, get your nutrients in, even though I'm not gonna lie, I love my candy, I love my takeouts. Yeah, and especially like those weekends and Friday nights when you want to unwind from your 9-to-5 work week, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You don't want to cut yourself off cold turkey. And it's also important to get some sunshine and, stay active, even though this past winter that wasn't possible.
This winter had different things on his mind. I don't know.
Absolutely.
It was interesting winter, I agree.
Yeah.
So what's next for Tati? What do you have coming up?
Oh, good question. So I don't have anything lined up at the moment, although I will say that I did finish up wrapping Brandon Lay's latest film called Clench. It's another horror.
Love it.
Yeah, and so believe they just did their last shoot day, so that's something to look forward to in the future.
Wonderful.
And other auditions coming up, so fingers crossed that
fingers crossed, guys. You see her more on the screen.
Yeah.
So tell people where we can find you if we wanted to just befriend you or to find out who Tatiana is.
Yeah, absolutely. So my Instagram is the Tati Torres. No, it's kind of corny. I made that username up some years ago. I didn't know what else to come up with. So
Love it.
Yeah, so that's where you can find me. And and I also have an IMDb profile,
Wonderful.
which I'm very happy to have as well. And I'm also on Facebook, and pretty much it.
Wonderful. Well, we'll add all the Tati links on the episode for you guys to go find Tati. Wow, that was amazing.
Well,
thank you so much for stopping in the Indepth Arts and Care podcast and being an amazing talent in person. And I wish you continued success in the art and taking it as further as you want to go.
Thanks so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
No problem. Thank you so much, guys. And remember to follow Indepth Arts and Care podcast in all your podcast streaming platforms, and as well as following us on social media. And don't forget to like and share with your fellow community. Thanks, guys.
Hello. Hello, my name is Tatiana Torres, and I would like to say, be yourself, because everyone else is already taken. Though she be but little, she is fierce. Tatiana Torres.
Indepth Arts and Care Podcast, where creativity meets compassion, is a captivating podcast that invites listeners on a journey of exploration where the transformative power of art and the art of caring collide. Delving into the lives of remarkable individuals, this show uncovers the profound ways in which creativity, empathy, and compassion intersect, reshaping our perspectives on the human experience.